Hello, guys. Welcome back to my channel after a very long break. I've got Shreyank with me as well. Welcome, Shreyank.
Hey,
And
thank you, Vignesh.
yeah,
Pleasure.
despite our busy schedule, we had to do this. This
Yeah.
is what we owe to this great man, as a
Mm.
fan of cricket. Before we talk about the passing of the late Shane Warne, quick congratulations to Virat Kohli on his 100th Test match. It's a
100
great
test. Yeah.
achievement. A lot of few people are asking you only, criticize Virat. You should talk about this as well. So yeah, I wanted to get this out of the way. And yeah, great on that. Now let's get back straight into Shane Warne. You want to talk about your earliest memory of this great man?
Yeah. Earliest memory probably would be obviously with the ball of the century, ball of the millennium, what they speak about to Mike Gatting. Because one thing that always stood up when someone spoke about spin bowling, and it would be surprising for us because as fans, we always thought that the subcontinent is where all the great spinners are born from.
That's the
Generally that is
mindset.
how yeah, that is the mindset, and that is how it has been. But there's one little exception, that and he proved out to be the best of the best. And Shane Warne was that kind of a player, which really he had an imposing memory on all the cricket fans, as a player, as a character, as a team of as a member of the team of that legendary Australian side, that dominated the world cricket for so long.
The
And
golden age.
Shane
The golden
Warne's,
age.
yeah, the golden age for Australian cricket. And that is where I have the earliest memories of Shane Warne, especially that ball of the millennium, because that's the first thing whenever we talked about cricket and its greatest moments. That is the first thing that came up, because Shane Warne started playing cricket way before we were born.
Yes.
And to have seen him and experienced him in his later stage of his career till early 2008. So that's a fascinating journey that he has had, and that's the fascinating memory that we have as fans, even though we despise the Australian team. But credit where credit is due to the character and
Yes.
the player he was.
And also, talking about he wasn't, we weren't in his prime era. We weren't born or
Mm.
we were too young. That also brings me to a point that another legendary Australian, Rodney Marsh, passed away too. But
Yeah.
it isn't personally, it isn't as impactful as Shane Warne, simply for the fact that, like you mentioned, his era was completely, we weren't even
Mhm.
born, we weren't even, I don't know, where we probably in our last life or doing something. So
Yeah.
we know the contribution he had to the game,
To Australian
but
cricket.
we
Yeah.
never witnessed it. But with somebody like Shane Warne, it's that much more painful because we saw his greatness. Also, the
Yeah.
first IPL winning captain. It's just that flamboyance, the charisma. There are some people who just transcend the country, right? Like
Yeah.
you just love him irrespective of what. There's AB de Villiers, there's Brian Lara, Sachin,
Yeah.
Shane Warne, Muralidharan. These guys, they just transcend countries. You don't see countries when it comes to supporting or loving these guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
wanted
these
that?
are the players. Yeah, these are the kind of players that rise above boundaries and tribal nature of fans, because they have stood up, they have stood separately in the game of cricket, and the place where they stand is so high and so this thing that everybody can see their greatness. So that
True,
is why
true.
it makes a difference between these kind of legendary players and players who have been great for their countries, but we don't really have that affection towards them. But then when it comes to personalities of sport, that they have been the true ambassadors of the sport. That's the best way we can put. Seeing them,
Definitely.
seeing their greatness, even non-cricketing fans would say, "Oh, he was a player. He looked like a player." Is the sort of thing that we can talk about non-football fans talking about Ronaldo and Messi. They know who Ronaldo and Messi are because
Yes,
they
true.
are the ambassadors of football in cricket. So
Football
same
game,
way Shane
exactly.
Warne comes in that particular league of personalities in cricket, because the stats are crazy. His bowling abilities are crazy. Let it be the flat tracks to the bouncy tracks of
Just
Australia
it's
to the spinning tracks
amazing.
of
His
subcontinent
underrated
and
armory,
the
the flippers.
the
Crazy good
flippers.
flippers.
To be honest, probably we would associate Shane Warne's earliest memory to the 2005
Five
Bankwest
ashes.
Test series
Yes, I
in
was
India.
gonna
Yeah,
say
that
that.
04, 05 Ashes. That was one of
Andrew
the
Stoss didn't
best.
have no clue. He didn't have no
Yeah,
clue as to where to take his front leg. Go
Exactly.
across,
So
play it straight, absolutely no clue. But that's the
yeah,
geniusness of this man, you know.
yeah,
It's just that it's also, you know, he inspired so many guys. You could take Chehel and Kuldeep for example
Chahal.
as well.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
revere him a
yeah.
lot because it's, you know, they grew up, they probably grew up watching him. It's just
Mm,
that before Shane Warne, Rispin was a dying art, is what I've heard. And this guy comes into the scene, just takes the world by storm,
changes. Yeah, yeah,
irrespective of the pitch condition, like you mentioned before. And also, he's lived a larger than life, his life. It's just that there's just not the on-field greatness that he's had. Also,
yeah.
off-field, he's had
Often.
a great, movements as well. But that's what
Yeah,
makes him. It's just not his cricket.
yeah.
The entire
To be
package that he
honest,
brings.
when we go and dissect a personality or dissect a personality's life, there's always going to be shades where he was shades of gray in his life. There are going to be instances of him being not carrying the persona that he justified on the field, off the field. So off the field, he might have had his troubles, or
Yeah,
up to
after all, we are all
everybody
humans.
does, because when we go to nitpick in a man's career or man's personal life or career, be it anywhere, so you'll always find these areas which they were also not very proud of. So Shane Warne also had his fair share of gray areas in his life, but then again, when it comes to ability on the field, my god, what a player.
What a player,
Yeah,
what a player. No six packs, no eight packs, no rip bodies, just technique and just pure
yeah, yeah.
control,
Nah,
flight.
there'll not be a single true cricketing fan who would not have tried his bowling action. To be honest,
Most
the
definitely.
legendary bowling action that he had, most of them would have tried once or at least twice in their life to try and get a Shane
But
Warne
his
catch.
control is God level. No, I think nobody can
Yeah,
match that. We could copy his action, but his control,
exactly.
only he could do that.
Yeah, I mean, the test wickets speak for that particular
True,
aspect of his
true.
ability. Control is one thing that you need as a spinner, because it's easy to lose in a prolonged career. You can wane off in the later part of your career where you're not effective as you were in the middle or the early stages of your career. But then he carried all the way, all the way till the end of his career, the path of greatness, and to be able to do that particular in the time when spin and especially wrist spin, which was seen as a dying art, to be able to single-handedly bring up the whole section of the
Cricketing world, in a
bowling.
sense.
Yeah, yeah, he just put it on the map again, once again. The wrist spinners became a thing, and now
And
we know
also,
people
uh,
obsessed with wrist spinners.
in his twilight side of his career, he comes into the IPL, leads a
Yeah,
side, and goes on to win it in the first edition.
win. Yeah,
So
yeah.
much
I mean,
flamboyance again, flair.
exactly. I remember those spiky blonde
Oh yeah,
hair of his. So that and the Rajasthan jersey and the way he led them to victory, and probably to believe in a youngster like Ravindra Jadeja, for example.
oh
To
yeah,
be honest,
rockstar.
you come up to to be honest, that Rajasthan Royals team in 2008. I don't think people would have given them any chance of
Any
winning the
chance? Yes, correct.
that particular edition of IPL, because you had people like Asnotikar opening the batting, Ravindra
Asnotkar,
Jadeja as Asnotikar, the short guy
yeah,
with
yeah, Swapnil
thick
Asnotkar,
pads,
poor guy.
Swapnil Asnotikar, then Yusuf Pathan, who we had not heard of that much until and
Yeah, he
unless the
wasn't
Pushing
that
Seven
flourished.
World Cup. Yeah, that he flourished. I
And the
remember
Sohail
Sohail coming in
Tanvir,
with the weird
yeah,
action, Ravindra Jadeja, Shane Watson.
up
So
and
all
coming,
these,
yeah,
yeah, he had a thing of there's always there's not a youngster who would feel left out in that particular IPL
for
team, and
sure.
everyone always told that he always used to have the arm around the youngsters whenever they felt under pressure, and he gave them the necessary
And he
inspiration,
did
or
that, and it helped a
yeah,
lot. It helped a lot to Ravindra Jadeja. You know, it's paying dividend now after many, many
yeah.
years. He also
Oh my
loved
god.
Ajinkya Rahane a lot. Like he
Yeah, yeah.
loved Rahane, but Rahane, I don't
Hmm.
know, he didn't live up
Yeah,
in the end. It didn't work out. But yeah,
yeah.
see, talking about Ravindra Jadeja especially, let's talk about that. Like, talking about Ravindra Jadeja, we have to talk about his match winning. Maybe Ravindra, it's been termed as the Ravindra Jadeja test because
Test,
it's
yeah.
all for all the right reasons. He scores 175 not out and picks up 10, almost 10, 9 wickets in the game.
9 wickets.
It is his test match. It hasn't
Yeah.
been easy. It hasn't been easy. See, remember the times when we used to doubt on his inclusion because he was highly
Hmm.
inconsistent. If you remember,
Intense, yeah.
bowling was always there on a good
Yeah.
skiddy surfaces.
Batting,
Batting was very inconsistent, but Dhoni believed in him, persisted all these years, and now you see so much of consistency.
probably, yeah, probably last 5 to 6 years has been Jadeja's upturn in the
For
batting
sure.
aspect of his game, because I don't see whenever Jadeja is there. To be honest, a guy comes on, plays exceptionally well in all the three departments: bowling, batting, and fielding. I don't think you rarely get
Players like that.
players like Ravindra Jadeja. I mean, people would bite your hand to get a player like Jadeja.
For sure. These
So
are
probably
elite level players. There's
elite level players. I mean, the way he has actually redeemed himself by backing his abilities and then improving on them is truly a testament to his dedication. Or to be honest, I
he's
mean, he has proved people like Shane Warne correct, calling him a
for
rock
sure.
star
Yeah, he
at
believed in
on
them back. He
2008.
even calls him rock star. He's a rock star for all
Yeah,
the right reasons
he's
now.
a rock star for all the reasons for Indian cricket, and you can see Shane Warne. That is one thing that Shane Warne will be proud of. That what he saw from Ravindra Jadeja in this particular Test match, he would be a happy guy, hopefully
For
up there.
sure, he'd be smiling
Yeah,
up there. Having the Jadeja, and also Rohit Sharma's captaincy. I know it's way too early. I'm kind of liking it. He's very not very easygoing. He just wants to win, just like Virat Kohli.
yeah,
How Virat Kohli was. It's a good
yeah.
sign there.
Probably, but then Sri Lanka is not a test for that
For
particular
sure. I was
thing.
gonna say
Yeah,
this.
because Sri Lanka have been poor. That is a
Yeah,
separate
like
video that we need to do, I guess,
if I may
because
add to this,
yeah,
I didn't want to. I don't want to speak about this particular test match. We were already made up our mind. We don't want to talk about Paytm series, especially that happens in
yeah.
India, and that too against teams like West Indies and Sri Lanka. I mean, we've well past
Hmm.
that. While you play a game, you're past certain level. You don't come back and play that level. You always you're eager to go to the next level. That's
Yeah,
where we should be heading there as well. You have to minimize the number of home series we play, home or away for that matter, with a team like Sri Lanka or West Indies. There is no point
yeah.
in winning anymore. Yeah, we've done it many times. Their upcoming team, they're building it. I don't understand.
But then probably what we are not seeing is we are seeing it from our perspective. So sometimes what it is
It
necessary for
helps them,
teams
yeah,
like
for
West
sure.
Indies and Sri Lanka to play teams like India away, because it's sort of a test for them to see where
Yeah,
they are as a
true.
team, what we
Yeah,
need
I'm
to
not
do.
saying
So
don't play with
probably
them. But what I'd suggest is second send us a B string side or something like that. You don't have to send your
probably, yeah,
premier side.
probably. So yeah, I understand. So yeah, it makes sense. But then now, what is the issues with the World Test Championship? The scope for
Oh yeah, there's that.
experimentations is quite less, and that is why I feel that is why we see experiments in T20 and ODI where we are sending our B-string
Hmm.
teams towards those kind of matches. But then you can't blame them. So yeah, we'll stick to Shane Warne for this
Third one,
particular
yeah, true.
video, and then talk about the
Okay,
other
cricket. I was
aspects
gonna
of the
say
Test
that
matches.
because there's nothing much we've already accomplished. We've defeated Sri Lanka like zillion times.
Yeah,
But what really hurts me is Sri Lanka has got some experienced players like Tirimana, let's say Dikwella or
Karunaratne,
Karuna. What
Karunaratne.
are they doing? How could you get out twice in a day? And that too, pitch isn't like very crazy typical Indian dusty turning pitches. It's just
Yeah,
basic simple cricket and they're not being able to play that. It's crazy. Okay,
yes,
let's not
yes,
talk about that. Let's talk about it
yeah.
later. And yeah, right now it's just Shane Warne. What else? He was also in a flamboyant. It's not just IPL. He played in the early seasons of
Big Bash,
Big Bash as well. Again,
Big
he
Bash.
brought a certain level of enthusiasm, and
Mm.
he's a crowd puller basically, like we talked about.
Yeah,
He's a definite
I
crowd puller.
mean, yeah, an absolute rock star of the game, and generally rock stars fill stadiums together,
Mm.
and that is how Shane Warne also did the same with his abilities and his presence in the field. I liked his commentary too. He was good in
He
that
was
particular
right on the money.
field too.
He never
Yeah, right on the
sugarcoated.
money, because yeah, analysis and everything. He was kind of a realist. Let it be Australian team, he'll be critical of that. Any other team, he just had the proper
Inside.
knowledge of the game, and yeah, proper knowledge of the game, and it showed on the field, off the field, everywhere where he spoke about cricket. And he was one of the greatest ambassadors for the cricket, probably.
He
I would say
wanted to
that. So
party, and so he was, Thailand. A lot of celebrities actually end up dying in Thailand. They got on
Thailand,
vacations and then something bad happens. But
yeah,
this was, all too soon. He's
yeah,
just 52, if I'm
absolutely.
not wrong.
52.
Sudden
Yeah,
shock. If a guy like Ricky Ponting breaks down, it just shows
yeah,
the hole that's been left behind.
yeah. It's a true, it's almost like a disbelief for us as fans. Imagine for friends and family who were his teammates for almost 20 years, who have been
Hmm.
together. Imagine meeting your friends every week or twice in a week, or commentating with them, coaching with them. So when you see that particular aspect and you look at their reaction, it shows that, I saw how Gilly also wrote a heartfelt
Hmm.
this thing message to him, Matthew Hayden, all these golden era of cricket Australia. So imagine the pain that they would have felt. So I feel, as fans, we felt it so much. Imagine what they would have felt. So that is why I feel not an age to go, and sad that cricket lost such an icon so
And
early.
yeah, on a bright side, maybe he didn't suffer a lot. Hoping that he didn't suffer a lot, was quick,
Yeah,
painful death,
yeah,
painless death. Sorry.
yeah,
And he just came in, did what he did, and just went off just like that, without
yeah,
surprising everyone. Hope is
yeah.
at peace right now, and yeah. On that
Condolences to his
note,
family, yeah,
yeah,
family,
yeah,
friends,
that's
and
important too. His
Australian fans, yeah,
three
and the cricketing
kids, his
fans.
parents are still there. A lot of
Yeah,
power to them, and his friends, family, Cricket Australia, everything.
yeah,
And based on that note, I think, yeah, we can sum up this episode. You want to add anything
yeah.
before I end this up? Anything
Uh,
extra?
it's
What
a
we've
huge
missed?
loss, and I feel, uh, hope that the family has the strength to bear this pain, and the family, friends, and cricketing fans around the world. That we hope someone emulates his level of charisma and abilities on the field again. Hopefully from
And
Australia or any other
especially,
country.
Test cricket needs this. The
Yeah,
pink ball, they're doing everything to keep the Test cricket alive.
yeah,
Another thing is what is needed is guys like this, characters
yeah.
who have to pull the crowd.
Yeah,
Hopefully,
that is
somebody
why
comes
we
along.
somebody comes up and does the same with
What
yeah,
this guy?
hopefully next episode we get to talk about Ashwin's record of becoming second highest wicket taker of India, and
Yes, yes.
that'll be one of the tributes for Shane Warne. He would
Game
love
on.
Ashwin.
He loved Ravi
He,
Ashwin. It's just that this
yeah,
guy. It's not just spin the wickets. It's this street smart of these guys.
yeah,
Trapping the guys, setting the batsmen up.
trapping the
It's
guy.
all
I love
counted.
the
And
way Ashwin sets up to get a wicket, and
Ashwin
to do that
absolutely
regularly.
loves bowling to left-handers.
Yeah, yeah.
He
We'll
feasts
talk
on
about that
them.
on the next
Yeah, on the next
episode.
next
Yeah, for
episode
sure.
when we on this note, let's end this again. Rest in
Yeah.
peace, Warnie. See you. Thanks for joining as usual, man.
Hey, Vicky. Pleasure, man.